Have you ever walked away from a relationship wondering if you completely missed what she was feeling? Many men assume attraction is mostly about looks or confidence. But after years of working with individuals and couples, I've learned that what creates a meaningful connection often has very little to do with either. Some of the strongest relationships are built on small moments that most people never notice. Hello, I'm Dr. Narita. For the past 16 years, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of adults better understand health, relationships, confidence, and emotional well-being. One thing I've seen again and again is that many misunderstandings between men and women don't come from a lack of caring. They come from different ways of experiencing connection. Before we continue, if you enjoy practical, science-based discussions about health, relationships, and living well, I'd love for you to subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what do you think is the biggest misconception men have about women? Let's start with something that surprises many people. A woman often begins forming an emotional impression long before she says a word about it. While movies make it seem like attraction happens in an instant, real life is usually much more gradual. She notices whether she feels respected, heard, and emotionally safe. Those first impressions quietly shape how comfortable she becomes over time. Think of trust like building a bridge. Every honest conversation, every moment of kindness, and every time you keep your word adds another strong piece to that bridge. On the other hand, broken promises or dismissive behavior can weaken it. Once that bridge feels solid, deeper emotional closeness becomes much easier. Research from organizations such as the National Institutes of Health and relationship experts consistently shows that emotional security plays a major role in healthy, lasting relationships. Feeling emotionally understood can reduce stress and encourage open communication. That doesn't mean every woman feels exactly the same, but many describe trust as one of the foundations of genuine intimacy. Another point many men overlook is the importance of feeling truly listened to. Listening is different from waiting for your turn to speak. When someone feels heard without being judged or interrupted, they are much more likely to share their thoughts, concerns, and hopes. That openness strengthens connection in ways that expensive gifts or grand gestures often cannot. There's also a common myth that confidence means having all the answers. In reality, healthy confidence often means being comfortable enough to admit you don't know everything. A sincere question like, "How are you really feeling?" can create far more closeness than trying to impress someone with perfect words. And that brings us to another fascinating piece of the puzzle. Sometimes the smallest habits, like consistent kindness, patience during disagreements, or remembering little details, have a bigger emotional impact than dramatic romantic moments. Why do those everyday behaviors matter so much? That's exactly what we'll explore next, because they reveal something about female psychology that many men never fully understand. She may not even realize she's noticing those everyday moments, but over time, they shape how she feels about the relationship. Imagine watering a garden. One heavy rainstorm can help, but it's the steady care over weeks and months that allows healthy growth. Relationships often work the same way. Consistent respect, reliability, and emotional presence tend to matter more than occasional grand gestures. Another misunderstanding is that silence always means everything is fine. In reality, many women process emotions internally before talking about them. That doesn't mean they're hiding something. It simply means they may need time to sort through their thoughts before sharing them. Giving someone space while letting them know you're available can be far more supportive than pushing for an immediate answer. Communication also goes beyond words. Facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language often communicate just as much as the conversation itself. If your words say, "I'm listening," but you're distracted by your phone or thinking about something else, that message may not come across the way you intended. On the other hand, making eye contact, staying present, and responding thoughtfully can help another person feel genuinely valued. One of the healthiest habits couples develop is curiosity. Instead of assuming you know what your partner's thinking, ask open-ended questions. What made today stressful? Or what would help you feel supported right now? Invites conversation instead of guessing. These simple questions often prevent misunderstandings before they grow into bigger problems. It's also worth remembering that no two women think exactly alike. Personality, life experiences, family background, culture, and individual values all shape how someone experiences relationships. That's why broad stereotypes can be misleading. The healthiest approach is to learn about the unique person in front of you instead of expecting her to fit a common pattern. Experts from places like the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins Medicine often emphasize that healthy relationships are closely linked with emotional well-being. Feeling respected, appreciated, and emotionally secure can lower stress and improve overall quality of life for both partners. Healthy communication isn't just good for the relationship, it can also support better mental and physical health. Another overlooked factor is appreciation. Many people naturally notice what's missing before they notice what's going well. A sincere thank you, acknowledging someone's effort, or recognizing small acts of kindness can strengthen emotional connection over time. These moments may seem ordinary, but together they create a relationship where both people feel seen and valued. Of course, disagreements are unavoidable. The difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships isn't whether conflict happens, it's how that conflict is handled. Couples who stay respectful, avoid personal attacks, and focus on solving the problem together often come through disagreements feeling even stronger than before. It's less about winning an argument and more about protecting the relationship itself. As these habits begin to add up, something important starts to happen. Emotional safety grows, trust becomes deeper, and communication becomes more natural. But there's one final piece that many people overlook, a quality that quietly strengthens lasting relationships even years after the excitement of the early days has faded. We'll explore that next. The final piece is something that doesn't receive nearly enough attention: emotional safety. It isn't about avoiding difficult conversations or pretending everything is perfect. Emotional safety means knowing you can be honest without fear of being mocked, ignored, or made to feel small. When that kind of trust develops, many relationships become stronger because both people feel comfortable being their authentic selves. Think of emotional safety as the foundation of a house. You may admire the paint, the furniture, or the decorations, but none of those matter if the foundation is weak. In the same way, attraction may bring two people together, but trust, respect, and understanding are often what help them stay connected through life's challenges. One habit that quietly strengthens this foundation is empathy. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with everything your partner says. It means trying to understand why she feels the way she does. Sometimes a simple response like, "I can see why that would upset you," does more to resolve tension than offering immediate advice or trying to fix the problem. Another important reminder is that healthy relationships allow both people to keep growing as individuals. Supporting each other's interests, encouraging healthy habits, and celebrating personal achievements can deepen respect over time. When two people feel encouraged instead of controlled, their bond often becomes stronger. It's also helpful to remember that every relationship goes through seasons. There are times of excitement, times of routine, and times when life becomes stressful because of work, family responsibilities, or health concerns. Those changes don't automatically mean the relationship is failing. In many cases, they simply require patience, honest conversations, and a willingness to adapt together. If communication has become difficult, don't assume it's too late. Small, consistent changes often make a meaningful difference. Setting aside time to talk without distractions, expressing appreciation more often, listening with genuine curiosity, and treating disagreements as shared problems instead of personal battles can gradually rebuild closeness. Lasting relationships are rarely transformed overnight. They grow through everyday choices.